Just Ghana. It's more than just Citi FM. It's a massive election because there's a lot of tension in terms of how close it's going to be. So our commitment is to deliver an objective, professional work. It's going to be a 72-hour rolling program because the history of elections tells you that you typically would not know the final outcome until after a couple of days. So we put in place a plan that includes at least one body in a constituency. So we have over 274 people in the country on standby to start our coverage. We have about 6 command centers from the regions: the Northern Command Center, we have the Western Command Center in Takrady, the Eastern Command Center in Koforidua, Volta region in Ho, we have Kumasi as well, and then we have Cape Coast. We also have a couple of interesting angles to look at the program from. We'll be having a rolling coverage from 6 a.m., which I will start, and every couple of hours we will be shuttling between the various regions and the Electoral Commission. Exactly. The Electoral Commission, for the first time, is going to be doing live press conferences every 2 hours. So apart from what our 275 correspondents across the country will be bringing to our viewers and our listeners, we will also intermittently be going to the Electoral Commission. So typical scenario, something happens in a constituency, our reporter brings a report. We will check with the EC at their command center, which is the EC head office or their media room, every 2 hours to update us on situations that are evolving. So we'll have 2 reporters at the EC who will be doing both live Facebook and also live radio. So it's going to be that way till at least Friday. So when we start reporting from tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to go non-stop throughout because elections by their nature are very fluid. And so you have different things happening at the same time. Managing information flow, verifying and authenticating what is true, keeping people informed is just one aspect. You also have to analyze. So when results start coming in, you don't just announce the result because the results in and of themselves don't mean anything until you compare them with past trends and what is on the ground. So we're going to have a strong analytical team who will be doing some comparative analysis. We'll be looking at his history. We'll also be looking at context, comparing the results with what the pollsters have said. So by Friday, hopefully, we should know who is winning on both the presidential and the parliamentary side. So this is the general framework with which we are working.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you have any specific questions.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be going into, the numbers, exactly what some, numbers will most likely say, given what you have studied over the last few months. Yeah. But, I mean, my understanding is that we're working big with a number of partner, media organizations. What are we looking at?
So all the good things about this election is that because of the massive scale of the election and what is required to cover it comprehensively, you're going to have TV Africa, you're going to have Metro TV, you're going to have ETV, and you're going to have Viasat 1. Pick into our feed, make use of our resources, and we make use of theirs in a symbiotic resource sharing effort. The media recognizes that because our audiences are so, what's the word to use? They have so many options, and the channels and the sources they have access to are so many. Pooling resources makes more sense. So you would have at various points in the day, ETV will be streaming our programs. Some of their resource people will come and join us. We'll talk to some of their reporters. Some of our reporters will talk to them.
Exactly.
Some of our reporters will be on Metro TV. Some of Metro TV's people will be reporting in here. We'll do same with Viasat 1 News team as well as TV Africa. So you have 5 media houses. Don't forget that we have a Citi TV, which is an online television. So if you have Citi TV with Citi FM and these 4 stations, like a 5-station effort. So we have 5 times the firepower, we have 5 times the depth and 5 times the reliability, I'm hoping. It's a good sign for our country because elections is not about just trying to be the best and trying to go it all alone. It's about getting the best resource to give the most accurate, reliable news to your audiences. So I think this is a watershed moment for the media in Ghana. The kind of collaboration we're seeing with these 4 television stations and other media across the country.
So listeners and viewers, we're talking about election 2016, exactly how 97.3 Citi FM will be covering the elections, and also what we expect to bring to our listeners and also our viewers online, and also intend to do going forward now as 2016 election.
Been swinging.
Okay.
Ablekuma Central, Klote Koli, Lejokuku and Krowo. Of those 4, Ablekuma Central was the closest fourth. Both parties had, there was less than a 1.5% difference between the two. It's a constituency you keep an eye on because it usually portends or accurately play out the analysis. Check Punkatamanso today, it's 90% urban, right? Punkatamanso's birth rate is only the 6th highest in the region. It's not the highest birth rate in the region. Yet, Punkatamanso's population growth is the highest in the region. With Punkatamanso population between 2012 and 2016 increased by 20%, right? So, this constituency, people are not giving birth as much, yet people are moving there. So that should tell you that the population increase is due to another factor than birth, possibly migration.
Migration, movement of people.
Why is this important? Migration in Punkatamanso suggests that people are either building new houses in what was formerly ruralized places, or people are coming in with low-level urban slums within the constituency. The former is a more plausible explanation. So more and more people are building and owning their houses. What does this mean electorally? If you take Punkatamanso, 20 years ago, it was an 80-20 constituency. NDC will get 80%, NPP will get 20%. Very much like Ada or Sege. But every election year, NPP has closed the gap, confirming the view that the kind of migration to Punkatamanso could be of the type that was changing the character of Punkatamanso.
And the color.
And the color. So it's making it more urbanized, and the urbanized type may be voters who are more amenable to the NPP philosophy.
Okay.
This is the kind of analysis we want to do.
Okay.
We don't just want to tell you that last year 60,000, this year 20,000.
We want to
we want to make it richer.
Exactly.
So what I'm doing in 2016
is that social media will play a key role in determining who gets to win election 2016. How does that play into your...
Well, my point is that this will be our first social media election. What do I mean? In 2012, the election had social media coverage. By social media, I mean all the various platforms that allow people to engage, so Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and all these things. But this will be the first time that our mobile phone penetration, our internet penetration, smartphone penetration has risen to a point where it becomes more significant. So for example, in Ghana today, we have 4.5 million active Facebook users. If you think of the fact that, and these are verified, okay, not like, Facebook has cleaned the system that there's only a 7% margin of error. So let's assume we have 4 million people on Facebook. The number of registered voters is 15 million.
That's right.
If 4 million are in a certain space where there's a certain etiquette and a certain behavioral pattern and a certain level of influence, you can study the way the 4 million behave and predict how it's going to affect the election. That doesn't mean that whoever wins on Facebook who have joined the voting space. Our population pyramid is bulging at the bottom. So you have a lot of people between the ages of 16 and 24. A lot of these people are in urban areas who have access to social media. So the portals of information are more. So in the past, they just listened to their parents or their grandparents telling them, in this party, we vote for this party, in this family, vote for this party or that party. But now they are having access to all kinds of channels. So my point is that the politicians have a bigger task in how they influence these voters.
Okay.
So social media and the way it plays out is going to influence how the voters think and respond.
Okay.
That is my point about social media. So I can't predict who's going to win the election based on social media, but I can certainly say that social media is going to complicate and change the landscape. Then the last point is urbanization. And again, I discussed that previously, but urbanization for me is a very important factor in determining how the electorates think and their realities. Because a ruralized reality is markedly different from an urban reality. Rural poor and urban poor are both poor, but they face different challenges.
Exactly.
So I feel that studying urbanization, studying social media, and studying the demography of the various constituencies will equip and further enrich the analysis. Because up until now, a lot of the electoral analysis has been one of number crunching. But I think our election is more nuanced than number crunching. And this makes elections more difficult to predict, but makes them more fulfilling and exercise. Which is why I think that people who really want this kind of information should tune in, because we're prepared to give them the kind of analysis that will satisfy them satisfy their curiosity, and also give them a clearer and near perfect appreciation of what is happening. Bernard
Kokuavle, thank you very much for your time on Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Richard Delasky. We're returning exactly 6 numbers are brought to you. Who gets to win election 2000? And on social media, we have a great by Philip Kofi Ashon and Mauli Chika.